Success is never guaranteed by others, it's created by you. In this speech, we'll explore why self-reliance is the foundation of personal and professional success and how you can unlock that potential within yourself. Every one of us has been in a situation where we think, if only someone would help me, I'd get ahead. I was in my early 20s. When it hit me, no one was coming to save me. No one was going to hand me success. It's a hard truth to swallow, but also the most liberating. When you understand that you are the only one responsible for your own progress, it sparks a fire inside. You stop waiting for permission, for the right circumstances, or for others to take action. That day, I decided to stop relying on anyone but myself. The first step towards self-reliance is accepting that your future is in your hands. Let's dive deeper into the concept of responsibility. There's something magical about the moment you decide that everything in your life is your responsibility. It gives you control. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You become the driver of your destiny. Responsibility empowers you to own your life fully. No more excuses, no more waiting. If things aren't going the way you want them to, the question is, what are you going to do about it? There was a young man working as an accountant who always blamed his boss for his lack of success. He waited for a promotion, but it never came. One day, after hearing this idea of personal responsibility, he decided to take control. He studied harder, honed his skills, and eventually started his own business, tripling his income within 2 years. The moment he took responsibility, his life transformed. Once you take responsibility, the next step is to trust yourself. Trust that you have what it takes to succeed. Trust that you can make decisions and that you can handle whatever comes your way. Self-trust is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, but most people struggle with it. They constantly doubt themselves, second-guess their choices, and rely on the approval of others. But here's the thing, those who are truly successful trust their own judgment. When you trust yourself, you stop looking for external validation and start making decisions confidently. Responsibility and trust alone won't take you far without discipline. Discipline is what turns dreams into reality. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. The successful people you admire didn't get there by accident. They built their success on discipline, on showing up every day and doing the work, no matter how hard it was. Think of discipline as a bridge. It connects where you are now to where you want to be. And every day you choose to follow through on your commitments, that bridge gets stronger. A marathon runner once told me that the hardest part wasn't the physical training, it was the mental discipline to get out of bed every morning to run, even on the coldest days. It wasn't talent that got him across the finish line, it was his relentless discipline. Self-reliance isn't built in one big leap, it's crafted in the small, everyday habits you build over time. The little choices you make, the routines you develop, and the standards you set for yourself all lead to long-term success. Let me ask you, what small habits could you start building today that will make you more self-reliant tomorrow? Is it getting up 30 minutes earlier to focus on your goals? Is it dedicating an hour each day to learning a new skill? These small actions compound over time. They may seem insignificant at first, but that's the beauty of habit building. The results come later, but they always come. One of the most important tools for self-reliance is self-reflection. It's essential to regularly take a step back and assess your life, what's working, what's not, where can you improve. Self-reflection helps you stay on course. It forces you to be honest with yourself. Are you making the progress you want, or are you coasting? Are you living up to your own potential, or are you letting excuses get in the way? This process of self-examination is how you grow, and it's how you learn to depend on yourself at an even deeper level. Growth comes from regularly evaluating where you are and where you need to go. Never stop reflecting. One of the biggest challenges to self-reliance is fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making the wrong decision. But here's the thing, fear is always going to be there. The question is, are you going to let it stop you? The most self-reliant people in the world aren't fearless. They just choose to act in spite of their fears. They push forward even when the outcome is uncertain. Why? Because they know that they can trust themselves to handle whatever happens. If you're waiting for fear to disappear before you act, you'll be waiting forever. Depend on yourself to take action, even when it's uncomfortable. We live in a world where it's easy to look to others to solve our problems. But real power comes from knowing that you can handle whatever life throws at you. When you learn to solve your own problems, you become unstoppable. Problem solving is a skill, and it's one you can develop. It starts by asking the right questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me, ask, how can I fix this? When you stop waiting for someone else to solve your problems, you start moving forward at a pace you never thought possible. Here's a crucial truth: opportunities don't always come knocking. Sometimes you have to build your own door. The people who learn to depend on themselves don't sit around waiting for opportunities. They create them, they get proactive, they look for gaps in the market, they seek out ways to add value, and they position themselves for success. The mindset shift is simple. Instead of waiting for a chance, you decide to make a chance. The world responds to those who create their own opportunities. Finally, let's talk about celebrating your progress. Learning to depend on yourself is a journey, not a destination. Along the way, it's important to recognize the wins, both big and small. Why? Because celebrating your progress reinforces your belief in yourself. It reminds you of what you're capable of. Every time you achieve something, no matter how small, it's a reminder that you can rely on yourself to get where you want to go. So when you take responsibility, when you follow through with discipline, when you solve your own problem, celebrate those victories. They're proof that you are moving in the right direction. A huge barrier to self-reliance is the need for approval from others. We grow up seeking validation, whether it's from parents, teachers, friends, or colleagues. But here's the truth: when you constantly seek approval from others, you give away your power. Think about this: how many decisions have you delayed or avoided because you were worried about what someone else would think? When you learn to depend on yourself, you stop needing that external approval. You trust your instincts, and you follow your own path. The only approval you truly need is your own. One of the most critical skills for self-reliance is time management. Your time is your most valuable asset, and how you use it determines your success. Self-reliant people don't wait for time to magically appear. They take control of it. Are you scheduling your days with intention, or are you letting others dictate how you spend your time? Learning to manage your time effectively means prioritizing what matters most to you, setting clear goals, and eliminating distractions. The way you manage your time is a direct reflection of how much you depend on yourself. Take control of your time, and you take control of your life. You've heard the saying, motivation doesn't last, and it's true. But self-reliant people know that motivation isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. You can't always rely on others to motivate you. There will be days when no one is there to cheer you on, when no one is there to push you forward. On those days, you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. A young athlete once told me that his biggest breakthrough came not when his coach was pushing him, but when he learned to push himself in the quiet hours of his own training. He became his own source of motivation. Solitude is one of the most powerful tools for developing self-reliance. When you're alone, you get to hear your own thoughts without the noise of the world. But many people are afraid of being alone. They seek constant companionship, fearing the quiet. Learning to embrace solitude allows you to connect with yourself on a deeper level. It's in those quiet moments that you can reflect, plan, and grow. You realize that you are enough, that you don't need to rely on others for happiness or fulfillment. Solitude is where self-reliance is born. In those moments, you learn to trust yourself completely. When you learn to depend on yourself, something incredible happens. You become more resilient. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and failures. But the self-reliant person knows that they can handle whatever comes their way. Resilience is about bouncing back, and when you trust in your own ability to solve problems, you become unstoppable. You stop fearing failure because you know that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. That's the power of self-reliance. An entrepreneur I knew failed at 5 different business ventures. Each time, he learned from his mistakes, adjusted his approach, and kept moving forward. He never gave up because he trusted his ability to eventually succeed. And he did. On his 6th attempt, he built a thriving business. One of the most important aspects of self-reliance is learning to say no when you are dependent on others for validation or approval. It's easy to say yes to things that don't serve you. But self-reliant people are clear on their priorities, and they aren't afraid to say no to distractions. Saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. It allows you to protect your time, energy, and focus so that you can pursue the things that truly matter. Saying no is a powerful act of self-reliance. It shows that you are in control of your life, not others. Emotional independence is a key part of self-reliance. It means that you don't rely on others to regulate your emotions. You don't need someone else to make you happy or to validate your feelings. You have the power to manage your own emotions. Many people go through life depending on others for their emotional well-being. But when you cultivate emotional independence, you gain freedom. You learn to find peace and happiness within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. Emotional independence gives you the strength to handle life's ups and downs without being overly dependent on others for your sense of well-being. One of the best ways to build self-reliance is by becoming a lifelong learner. When you are constantly learning, growing, and improving, you become more resourceful and capable of handling whatever life throws your way. Self-reliant people are always seeking knowledge. They know that the more they learn, the more they can depend on themselves to find solutions, overcome challenges, and create opportunities. I knew a man who wanted to become a software developer but couldn't afford to go to school. Instead of giving up, he decided to teach himself to code. Over the course of 2 years, he studied online resources and practiced relentlessly. Today, he's a successful programmer with a thriving career, all because he depended on his own ability to learn. Your physical health plays a significant role in your ability to be self-reliant. If you don't take care of your body, you won't have the energy or stamina to pursue your goals. Self-reliant people understand that their body is their most valuable asset. They prioritize exercise, proper nutrition, and rest because they know that without a healthy body, everything else becomes harder. Think of your body as the vehicle that will take you where you want to go in life. If you neglect it, it will break down, but if you care for it, it will carry you far. Finally, self-reliant people know how to set boundaries. They don't allow others to take advantage of their time, energy, or resources. They are clear about what they will and won't tolerate. Boundaries are essential for protecting your self-reliance. Without them, you can easily get pulled into other people's agendas and lose sight of your own goals. Setting boundaries allows you to stay focused on what truly matters to you. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It shows that you value your time and your goals enough to protect them. So what have we learned today? Self-reliance is about taking responsibility, building trust in yourself, mastering discipline, and continually learning. It's about becoming emotionally independent, setting boundaries, and learning to motivate yourself. Self-reliance is not just a skill, it's a way of life. When you depend on yourself, you take control of your future. You stop waiting for others to hand you success and you start creating it for yourself. The power to change your life is in your hands. Depend on yourself and watch how everything in your life transforms. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the ability to depend on no one but you. Embrace your power and start building the life you deserve. Next, how to attract success. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to discuss something powerful. It's a subject that has the potential to transform your life if you truly grasp it. It's the concept of attracting success. Most people chase success. They run after it, sometimes desperately. But what if I told you that success is not something you chase? Instead, success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person. Let me repeat that. You don't chase success, you become success, and success is drawn to you. The question isn't how fast you can run toward your dreams, but how magnetic you can make yourself so that your dreams come to you. In my early years, I didn't understand this. Like many, I thought success was out there, something external. But then I met my mentor, Earl Shoaff, who changed my perspective on life. He said, Jim, success isn't something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. That was a game changer for me. The moment I started focusing on personal growth, everything shifted. You see, success is like a magnet. The more attractive you are in terms of your habits, mindset, and work ethic, the more success you attract. But first, we need to become a person who naturally attracts success. Let me tell you a story of a young man I once met. He was working hard, putting in countless hours, yet success eluded him. I asked him, what do you think is missing? He said, maybe I'm not lucky. I told him luck is simply when preparation meets opportunity. And here's the key. Most people focus on finding the opportunity, but they forget to do the preparation. The mind is powerful, and what you think about, you bring about. Your thoughts are like seeds. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's what your life will reflect. But if you plant seeds of faith, belief, and determination, success begins to grow in your life. The law of attraction starts in the mind. If you want to attract success, you must first believe you're worthy of it. You must see yourself as someone capable of achieving great things. Even before you see the physical evidence, this is where most people stumble. They expect the result first. But that's not how life works. You must believe first, then act, and then the results will come. I had a friend who was in the sales business. He was struggling to make ends meet, constantly doubting his abilities. One day he made a simple change. He started visualizing himself as a top salesman, walking into every room with confidence. It didn't happen overnight, but within months. He was doubling his sales figures. What changed? His mindset. The way he saw himself changed, and the world responded in kind. Success leaves clues. If you study the habits of successful people, you'll notice patterns. They wake up early, they read, they take care of their health, and they are disciplined. But here's the key. It's not about doing these things occasionally. It's about doing them consistently. If you want to attract success, you need to develop the right habits. And these habits need to become part of who you are. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. It's easy to overlook this because we live in a world that celebrates instant success. But real, lasting success is a result of compound effort. The things you do today, tomorrow, and the next day will build up over time, creating momentum that will eventually attract success. One of my students was struggling with consistency. He'd start strong, but after a few days, he'd lose motivation. I told him, success doesn't care about your mood. It cares about your discipline. He started to develop a habit of writing down his goals every day and working on them for at least an hour, no matter how he felt. After 6 months, he looked back and realized he had achieved more in that period than in the previous 5 years. One of the most important things I learned early in life is this: you become like the people you spend the most time with. If you want to attract success, you need to surround yourself with successful people, or people who are striving for success. Now, this doesn't mean you should cut people off, but it does mean you should be intentional about your associations. The energy, mindset, and attitudes of those around you will influence you more than you realize. You can't fly with the eagles if you're hanging out with the turkeys. So find people who challenge you to grow, who push you out of your comfort zone, and who inspire you to be your best self. Your environment plays a crucial role in attracting success. To attract success, you need to have a clear vision of where you're going. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's planned, designed, and worked toward. You must ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? Who do I want to become? Why is this important to me? Having a vision is like having a blueprint for your life. Without it, you're just wandering aimlessly. But with a clear vision, you wake up every day with purpose and direction. You're no longer drifting, you're attracting the life you desire. Success is not just about receiving, it's also about giving. When you give value to others, success finds its way back to you. This is a law of life. If you want to attract success, find ways to serve others, to contribute to their lives, and to add value wherever you go. When you focus on giving, you'll notice that opportunities start to present themselves. The more you give, the more you receive. It's a universal law. So if you want to attract success, ask yourself, how can I serve? How can I help others succeed? Let me tell you this, self-discipline is one of the most critical elements in attracting success. Without it, all the vision, thoughts, and ideas will remain just that, ideas. Success requires action, and action requires discipline. Self-discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about making the hard choices that others avoid. Those who master self-discipline are the ones who naturally attract success because they've built a foundation of consistency and reliability. I once knew a young man who was brilliant but scattered. He had big dreams but lacked the discipline to follow through. One day, he decided to commit to just one small discipline, writing down his goals every morning. That single act of discipline led to more habits forming, and within a year, his life was completely transformed. The secret? He became disciplined, and success followed. Here's something you need to understand. Success doesn't come without obstacles. In fact, the road to success is filled with challenges, setbacks, and failures. But those who attract success are the ones who know how to persevere. Perseverance means staying in the game, even when things get tough. It's about having the resilience to push forward when everything in you says to quit. And here's the secret: every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. It's a test to see how badly you want success. I knew a woman who had failed in business 5 times. 5 times she could have given up, but she kept going. And on her 6th attempt, she built a company that became wildly successful. When I asked her what kept her going, she said, "Every failure was just one step closer to success." That's the power of perseverance. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for attracting success. Why? Because when you're grateful for what you already have, you open yourself up to receive even more. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, and abundance is what attracts success. Instead of focusing on what's missing, start focusing on what you have. The more you appreciate your current blessings, the more blessings you will attract into your life. I had a friend who was constantly frustrated because he wasn't where he wanted to be in life. He was chasing success, but it always seemed just out of reach. Then I challenged him to start a daily gratitude practice. He began to focus on what was working, what was good in his life. And slowly but surely, new opportunities started to flow his way. One of the keys to attracting success is taking full responsibility for your life. You must stop blaming circumstances, other people, or luck for where you are. Successful people take ownership of their choices, actions, and results. When you take responsibility, you put yourself in a position of power. You become the creator of your destiny rather than a victim of circumstance. This mindset shift is essential for attracting success because it puts you in control. I once knew a man who blamed everyone else for his lack of success: his boss, his colleagues, his upbringing. But nothing changed for him until he looked in the mirror and said, "This is on me." Once he took responsibility, he began to make different choices. And soon, success found its way to him. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools you can use to attract success. When you can see your goals clearly in your mind, you bring them closer to reality. The brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Visualization helps you stay focused, motivated, and aligned with your dreams. It programs your subconscious mind to start seeking out opportunities that match your vision. I knew a young athlete who used visualization techniques before every game. He would close his eyes and imagine himself scoring, winning, and celebrating with his team. Over time, his visualizations turned into reality, and he became one of the top players in his league. Here's a truth that most people don't understand. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of success. Every successful person has failed, sometimes multiple times. But they didn't let failure stop them, they used it as a stepping stone. Failure is feedback. It's a learning opportunity. The key is to embrace failure, not fear it. Each time you fail, you learn something new, and you become better prepared for the next opportunity. I had a friend who was terrified of failure. He was so afraid to fail that he never even tried to reach for his dreams. But when he finally took a risk and failed, he realized it wasn't the end of the world. In fact, it was the beginning of his journey to success. Attracting success is not a one-time event, it's a continuous journey. And on this journey, one of the most important things you need is momentum. Success builds on success, but momentum is fragile. It can be lost if you become complacent. Once you have momentum, you need to protect it. You need to keep pushing forward, even when things are going well. Momentum will carry you through the tough times and accelerate your progress when things are going smoothly. I knew a businessman who had achieved a certain level of success, but then he slowed down. He thought he could rest on his laurels. What happened? His momentum stalled and he struggled to get it back. Success is not a destination, it's a journey, and you must keep moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, to attract success, it's not about luck, it's not about waiting for the right moment, it's about becoming the person who naturally attracts the things you want. Work on your mindset, your habits, your associations, and your vision. Focus on giving more than you take, and success will find its way to you. Remember, success is not something you pursue, it's something you attract by becoming an attractive person. Be that person.